Welcome back to Child of Light. And now...
The
So,
rush
yeah,
finale.
I can't fucking believe Aurora is dead.
Sure she is. You're really
Fortunately, we grabbed the sun just in the last
hold on.
Yeah, here's
You're
the
really,
thing,
you're really...
Shiri is not, sorry, not Shiri. Aurora is not dead. She's only mostly dead. There's a difference.
I'm pretty sure I'm not
Gee.
Have you checked?
Not just that. Well, considering she grabbed the sun right at the last minute, obviously with her power she would be able to survive.
Well,
anyway.
yeah, I'm just saying the game's really trying to tug at your heartstrings with this scene.
I don't think it is.
No,
disagree.
it is.
I'm
I've
pretty
seen
sure
this. I've seen this move note for note.
It's just pretty visuals, if you ask me.
And symbolically enough, we're back at the beginning.
Also,
and
we
th-
haven't
and
had
there's-
the sad piano or violin, so no, I don't think it's trying too hard.
Here's the old lady.
Oh no, wait, there's the
You were
sad
saying, Shiroi?
Which turns out
So
To
it
be her
turns out-
mother, isn't it?
the Queen of Light.
Oh,
There
of
you go.
course. There we go.
And
Oh,
of
really?
course,
And
just like she said, that music would have helped Aurora in their most desperate moment.
Let me guess. This wakes her up, and then this gives Aurora a super form.
Not a super form, but you'll see.
Yeah. And the music echoes through the entirety of Lemuria.
That
Above
flute has some amazing...
our echo, yeah. And there you go. The tribe manages
yeah.
to free themselves.
Uh-huh. Guessing that only shows up if you do the side quest.
Kategida, there you go. The one most popular families decide to travel on their own, I guess.
Everybody's coming to the altar
Yeah.
to reunite for the final showdown.
To give her the
Secretly
power
the
of
music
spiritual
appeal.
energy and allow her to power up a spirit
Because
bomb.
we are Child of Light Heroes, I think we already did the joke, but
This is secretly the corruption song.
Hey, look, everybody's here.
Yay! For some reason, even things... Oh, because we haven't even supporting characters also here.
With our powers combined.
Yep, spirit.
Well, it's a similar in theme to Ni no Kuni. The fact that Aurora helped so many people, in turn, gave her the strength in the time when she needed the most.
And of
And there
course,
you
it
go.
brings
I
the
was
moon.
gonna say 06 to be
Sorry.
honest.
Oh
The
my
sun
god.
and the moon and the stars.
And super form in 3.
And now
Two,
Aurora becomes a
one.
full-grown adult.
Yeah.
She wasn't already. There we
Complete.
go.
Complete
No.
with a new crown.
No,
I
before
remember
she
she was in her teens.
was a teenager, like 16 years
So
old.
she's
but now
gone
she's
from
a full-grown
ultra
adult.
puberty.
And now she
Yeah.
has a new crown made of entirety of crystal.
Hello, Aurora.
It must be a dream or a spell like Amanda.
You're probably wondering what's happened to your body this time again.
It's a fairy tale, Jova. It needs to be
Again.
hardcore.
Nobody wants to go through puberty at a normal pace, let alone like this.
No,
Very-
it is real, my dear.
Very fast Aurora going through puberty at incredibly high speed.
So, if this is all real, I am here. So, you were here all along.
My heart is full.
I am here,
Of course you're here,
Wow.
Your Highness. It's not like your daughter could have used your help or anything, but whatever.
Actually, you can kind of maybe argue that maybe she's a wandering spirit who's guiding Aurora or something like that.
Yeah.
So
She revived her with the flute. She's there enough.
I have so much to tell you.
Alright, but I'm afraid time is of the essence.
yeah.
Captain,
Oh, Captain, my Captain. And that's his brother.
Yeah.
Valiantly, you fought to protect the Prince of Light.
So there you go. In the end, his brother actually found the strength to actually understand that he was an asshole towards him.
Come, embrace me, brother.
Even though you were doing that already.
Avo.
It means ancestor.
Finn, you faced the dark. Not just that, but stands for grandfather as well.
Yeah.
You're a man now, you dapper. Aww.
Margaret, can we spend a little time together?
Oh boy, will Robert get laid?
He's
Let's see.
he's pretty much done the ultimate heroics.
I'm quite busy. It's dreadful.
So you walked all this way just to tell him you're busy.
Oh,
That was cruel.
Also, if you can notice, she actually has cleavage.
Oh yeah, I knew that already.
But let me take a look at my schedule.
Oh, you tease.
Aw.
So we
That
go.
is
There
cute.
is hope in the end.
There
is
is
hope.
some hope.
He is shaped by cards on their side.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Umbria waits Nia until she falls.
Aw, no dialogue for Rubella.
I think it's about to come actually.
And
Oh.
her love will never be free.
Angry.
Actually, no. Oh.
Hmm.
Weird.
Go, make your noble exodus.
Deliver us.
Of
What she said.
course. After all, a princess needs a castle. I, as queen, will just cheer you on.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Jova, this is the thing. It's time for Aurora to become the queen anyway. So it's
Yeah.
not like. So it's not like.
Essentially, that's kind of the theme of the
Uh-huh.
whole game. A coming of age story for everyone and everything.
How to fly that quickly?
Oh,
Not
it's
just
okay. We've been flying throughout the entire game.
I get what they're going for, Tio, but the story
also,
did
Jova,
not.
give me a second. Not just for the characters, but also for Lemuria itself. It's going through a clear metamorphosis through the entire game.
I understand where they're coming from, Tio, but the way they've rushed the plot to this point, they have not earned
It
it.
still is, but I understand that the skeleton idea behind
Again, oh, trust me. I understand the idea behind it, but they really did not earn this. And again, you can't just have the queen turn out to be fine here in Lemuria.
And here we go. Time to face Umbra.
Goody.
Oh,
We'll
I
probably
love this rendition of the main theme, by the way.
well, plenty of
Yeah.
boss fight and I guess ending thoughts to talk about it, I guess. So let's, I guess, enjoy this part. Also, it looks like it's in the eye of the storm.
Yeah, because darkness and shit.
Time for
Time
the
to
final shout.
DBZ this shit.
Aurora, the exile.
I'm
More like
completely
the killed child.
We share that in common from long ago.
Lore
Now allow me,
building.
now allow me to reveal the backstory of my people before we fight.
Allow me to reveal the parallel that I have.
Cast out, curse to walk among the common and the weak.
Oh,
You say that as if it's a bad thing.
I had to deal with commoners. That's why I hate it.
Exactly, Joe, she has to deal with commoners. Why, your foolish mama? I will.
So,
No.
the queen was never truly dead, of course. Bit of a last minute thing, but whatever.
it's like
Yeah,
in
Who did you?
hold on.
Murderer.
Oh, Lion King.
Okay.
Okay, now you
Rider
may have my
wrongs.
interest.
The greatest civilization we.
You know, Umbra, you should probably learn you never want to make the hero angry, if that's often what gives them their power boost that defeats you.
Descended I am from Sinbel the Wise.
Strength comes from anger.
You from Aaron the Conqueror be.
The Sauls are Slytherin and the Godric Gryffindor.
Yeah,
Basi-
it's like we mentioned, Jova. They were the four founders of Lemuria, and these two are descendants from two of those founders.
We
So-
explorers inherited this world. It is our prize.
So we have Draco and Harry here.
Princess,
Yes.
welcome home. Heir to the throne.
So does this mean that those... Yeah, I'll ask during the battle.
Princess? Most certainly not. I am Aurora, alone.
I'm too humble to be considered a princess.
So she's dropping even the princess.
Merida style.
I think it's kind of represented by the fact that her crown is transparent now.
The stone has crumbled into dust.
No, please. Brave is boring.
It shouldn't have been.
Yeah,
How did they screw that up?
Empty
they focus too much on the hair physics.
Thankfully, once upon a time salvaged what was good from it.
What once was is long dead.
Yeah, like my father, though shouldn't
Yeah,
he be
that's
showing up in
kind of
Lemuria?
what I said before. Aurora is me saying, out with the old, in with the new.
A failure of a country.
So I
So
guess,
let's-
so I
So
guess
let's
the
throw
real,
everything to the trash and start a new one.
so I guess the real life country is just screwed. Good job.
So
That's the thing, Jova. It's the Austrian Empire. It's probably
Oh wait, is this? Is this around World War One?
Jova,
Maybe.
Jova, Jova. Jova.
No,
Lemuria...
it's stated at the beginning of the game. It's at the end of the 19th century.
Let me put it like this, Jova. Lemuria is not a place; it's the people. There you go.
Ha.
The symbol is. Oh, I'll say after. I'll have the deed.
Once you are gone, we can build anew and thrive.
Yeah,
So
what she
you have
said.
to die.
You would give this land to common tribes?
Filthy peasants. We fight for the citizens of this country and their lives.
I spit in the face of people who are not royalty.
But she is.
Oh, hi,
Oh, hi,
Jen!
Jen.
She's right. This is bigger.
Oh my god,
Remember,
Jen
Jova,
never even spoke up, and she's supposed to be a main roster,
and me and my
whatever.
family. It's okay, Jova. They're all on Aurora's invisible pocket.
Well, I
Yes.
get that, but I just realized Jen didn't even speak up during the big rousing point, like, dang.
Hi, Rubella.
But the cut he got... Okay, so I have to...
That's a reference to a dialogue she has. For the Aerostati, the Capilli.
So I have to wonder, did they actually make different dialogue for if you don't have those characters in, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For all of Lemuria, together, we are not afraid of you. There you go. Finn overcame his fears. Yay.
Yay.
I will do what my mother could not.
Whoever the heck your mother was.
Lore building job. I'm expecting a prequel.
We've already established Sinbel. Pay attention.
Wait,
And
Simba
stop
was a
this
girl? Also, wouldn't you have to
This
be way
land is
older?
mine to govern as I see fit.
Yeah.
And now, Aurora, you will have to deal with me and all the powers of hell.
Pretty much.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not kidding. She's gonna turn into a dragon right now.
A dark
Of
dragon.
course.
Well, she dresses like Maleficent, so.
There you
Here
go.
we go. Although she looks a bit more like my Princess Nightmare.
I love this music.
Yeah, it's a great final boss theme. But yeah, Jova, here's the thing. In one of the supporting dialogues, in this case between Oengus and Rubella, the two talk a bit, and Oengus is really impressed by Rubella's strength, and he actually says to her that her and Tristis are part of a race of the Aerostati. The traveling circus is this race that, if you pay attention, you found Rubella in these floating islands, and that was essentially this clue. And apparently, according to Angus, the Aerostati were one of the most belligerent races back in the day. So the Kategida have a huge respect to them because Klingon logic, obviously. So this in turn, boosts the morale of Rubella and essentially establish a bromance.
Why
Yeah,
couldn't
like
we
I've
have
been
seen
saying.
that dialogue?
Because he
Rush.
didn't appear with Pedro.
Anyway,
No, hold on. But according to you, that dialogue is in this game.
It is. It just didn't appear when Pedro finished the battle. Again, I had no idea how the game worked when it came to Pedro's run, because in my run, every dialogue or combination eventually happened. So I don't know what's the logic behind the triggering.
my guess too, you got lucky.
Probably.
Anyway, like I've said before, yeah, both her and her lackeys are dark types, so abuse the shit out of Aurora's light spells, and I've given Rubella a light alkali, and so
Jesus, that damage.
basically I'm going to completely ravage this boss. There you go.
Also,
Go
just
ahead.
gonna say the gap between this boss and the penultimate boss was a bit lengthy for something that
Yeah,
you know
that's
is
what-
the boss right afterwards.
There's this huge cutscene, so if you die here, you're back at before.
Wow, that would suck. Is there a skip button?
Yes. You
yeah.
can just mash the X button to skip all
Anyway,
the dialogue.
Shova, to
Still stupid,
continue-
but okay, go
to
on.
continue the reference of what I said about the entire growing up theme of the entire game, the symbolism comes also from the fact that this entire game is taking place during the eve between the Saturday and the Sunday of Easter, which in Christianity represents the canonical 3 days where supposedly Jesus Christ died by crucifixion and then resurrected. So the entire theme is about life and death, death and reborn, and out with the old, in with the new. In this case, the darkness is the old thing that needs to be purged from Lemuria once and for all.
Oh, don't worry, I get that. I mean, I've seen so many
It just
stories.
needed better execution.
I've seen so many stories that do the out with the old, in with the new thing. Some not that good also, but anyway, here's my thing though. So you're telling me that all this time, yes, and the story itself says that her mother is there all real and nice, so Yeah, by that logic, so her mother fell and died? So what? She'll be in Lemuria. I wouldn't be surprised if her
That's
father
the thing.
shows up in Lemuria.
Again, Lemuria, despite being clearly a parallel world between us and, compared to us, it seems to be, again, a representation of the afterlife.
So, by that logic, then, okay.
It's gonna be a bit clearer when the actual ending kicks in, because the ending is a bit surreal for what is gonna happen.
Okay, I'm just judging off of what I've seen so far, and right now, her mother said it's real, her mother's there, so you're telling me...
No, that's the thing, Jova. It's a Schrodinger's case. Lemuria is both real and not real at the same time.
I get that. What I'm saying is, like, well, again, though, essentially, yeah, her mother died in the real world, but so what? She's in Lemuria. What's stopping her father from joining them, too, eventually?
That's what's implied. I don't remember if the novel actually specified
it,
but
great. Supplementary material.
I already mentioned that 2 times, respectively, Jova.
Again, look, I get that they're trying to do the coming of age thing, but this goes back to what I was saying earlier, that they really needed to add more content. Like, seriously, we spent the majority with her as a kid, and then a teen, and now adult. Only the teen and adult thing had, like, a fraction compared to the child section. It's like Shirai said, it feels like most of it was a prologue leading up to the actual real action, and yet now, we're skipping ahead to the final fight. Which is a shame because, again, I care for these characters, well, the roster characters. The sad thing is that even the roster characters don't get to speak up consistently, even during that triumphant moment. Like, yeah, we got speeches from some, but not talks from the other characters. Heck, and again, it just goes to show how much of an afterthought Jen is. Like, she has, like... yeah, this is like one of the few lines Jen has had since being added to our party, and yet she's supposed to have the biggest vendetta to the point where she wants to torture the queen. And I thought, so we're going to see some character development about how she goes out of it. But nope, it's just kill, kill, kill.
Asshole.
Yeah. God, it says something when I find more character development from Fairy Fencer F than that with a character. And again, that's not to say that this game is terrible. It has a lot of potential, and for the most part, when it was starting off, it was doing good. But I'm sorry, this story raised up way too many potential points to just try and chuck them aside and say, you figure out for yourself. Look, when I feel like I should be credited as a writer, you have got a problem. I don't care how much supplementary material you make, that you didn't think to include that into the actual product itself shows that you have a writing problem. Like, rush development or not, they should have been able to actually pace the story better. Like, I mean, look, if you had to, like, maybe balance out Aurora's phases as child, teen, or adult, then have her become a teen earlier, re-script some of the dialogue to match it, then have her be an adult for the final stretch of it. That would have been more effective. It's just, nope, near the end game, she becomes a teen, because... her mother died, gave her this crown thing, and that gives her powers, but then it turns out her mother's not dead. She's in Lemuria, so I guess she'll be here with her daughter after all, which defeats the purpose of this being a fairy tale, because now we pretty much know the royal family could very much be okay, and well, we know what's going to happen to Austria-Hungary anyway, being the empire and whatnot. Granted, they may have a better fate than Russia, but all the same, I digress. Why am I even comparing the two? Because, again, this is just kind of feeling really stupid. But this music is good.
Anything to add in the case, Shiroi? Yeah, I was about to ask.
Anything to add?
So, Shiroi, what do you think of how the story is up to this point?
It's, I mean, the first half was fine, it's just everything else.
Shiroi, by first half, do you mean everything involving Child Aurora? Because that's more than the first half.
2/3, let's be generous.
Yeah. Again, look, I take no pleasure in deriding this game, audience, because I was actually having a genuine good time with it. It's just, I'm just disappointed at the direction they chose to take.
Everything after what I thought was a prologue is a problem.
Yeah.
So essentially, everything after the mirror, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like with the crossover between Professor Layton and Ace Attorney. It's like, the game is so brilliant, but when you get until, like, the final chapter, like, literally, the final chapter, not even the start of the final chapter, everything just goes down the drain.
Jesus.
I'll admit.
Also, don't be intimidated by all the damage increase and the armor that the boss puts. Look at that.
Does she even have a
even in
one-hit
New Game
kill
Plus.
attack?
No.
So-
She added that dark beam attack, but that's the most you're gonna see. Dark Heater mid-air, you're not.
So let me get this straight. Final boss, and you don't even have a one-hit kill attack like your crony Nora Nox. Nora Nox.
My guess is that because of the fact that you had just had the boss fight with Nox. They said, oh, it may be too unfair, let's make the final boss too easy or some shit.
Well, it's not uncommon for the penultimate boss to be harder than the final.
Oh,
boss.
It happens a lot.
Oh,
in
I know
RPGs.
that, I know that. And sometimes I'm okay with it, but it's in cases like this where they hype up the final boss so much that it's just jarring. Like, I mean, why not give her the one-hit kill? Oh, well, then again, this just goes back to my idea.
Jova,
Yes?
you're going to hate how the Genesis, the Sega Genesis Hulk game ends.
Is it a one-hit kill from your end on the boss? Because wait, let me guess.
You fight
Let me
the
guess.
leader in that game.
I was
at
just
the end,
about
and
to
let's
guess.
say-
I was just about to guess. You fight the
Yeah.
leader who's a
Hold
weakling.
on.
I only wanted a home.
Fuck off and die.
No, don't. Are those your
But-
dying words?
Your dripping mascara is not, cheering me up.
Someplace I could call my own.
Well, maybe you could have lived with us if you didn't kill the family.
In this world, for ill or good.
Whoa,
Where
Aurora.
life is on.
Living in this world.
Life's an open book.
Never fear the
Maybe.
fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does it seem a bit cold? Oh, go on.
We live together, not alone.
So she's going to
Communism.
spare her?
No.
Then why
Aurora
buy...
was truly progressive.
Huh. I don't know. It feels a bit weird for Aurora, who's been nothing but kind
Oh,
and
here we
for
go.
what?
And I'm still standing like an idiot.
The flood waters rise. The people on 5 hills cry. The end is prophesied.
What are you even talking about?
No, the fact that remember, in case you don't remember, the entire due to the bad weather, the water is flooding the entirety of the city where the Duke is living. So the people took hills nearby, but Aurora has a plan.
I need
Any-
volunteers to follow me.
Are you joking? Course I'll come.
Yay!
Wait, so what happened
The
to
advantage
Umbra?
lies on your side.
Wait, what happened to Umbra? Last we saw her,
She's
She's
dead.
dead. She's dead.
That bitch is
we
dead.
didn't even see an animation of her fading, like her daughters.
This will be more than fun.
Really?
Maybe this game was rushed because they didn't want us to have to sit through Aurora's puberty.
By my honor, let's go inside.
Why would... Okay, Umbra...
Jova, just sit and watch. This is peculiar in how it ends.
Peculiar.
We'll tumble on through.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
I heard that
Ew.
as Tumblr on flew through.
Yes.
It's what we do.
We live
We'll
and
meet till
learn.
the end.
Princess, I am with you, but I'm still a DLC character.
Well, I guess I'll give them credit. At least they came up
Yes,
with it.
yeah.
At
You're
least-
the
Those
leader of the
dipshit
I'm
at
helping
Ubisoft
squad.
locked me behind a paywall.
Of course.
Through the mirror into the mud.
Wait, what?
You.
Remember, the mirror connects to Aurora's world.
Then what's stopping them from just going through and going back to being alive?
That's
Rescue my people from
what
the
they're
top.
about
exactly
to
what.
do.
That's exactly
But
what
they're
they're
doing
gonna
that in reverse. They're gonna go into the mirror and
do. There you
had
go.
all the
Narration.
people migrate to Lemuria.
Off screen.
No. On the stained glass.
So we don't even see it
Hold on,
happen
hold
in
on.
game.
Just listen, Joe. Jesus.
As the icy deep rose to meet them, who should unexpectedly appear but Aurora resurrected, with a host of creatures queer. Lickety split, the group split up, and in less than half an hour, Aurora and her friends led the people up the castle tower. They entered to an empty room. The water lapped at their feet, no way out except to drown. Their doom they were sure to meet. But of course Aurora smiled, Before their eyes, astonished shed. To a mirror she led them, and they stepped through it instead. From that day onward in Austria, only a small island remained. My people safe in Lemuria, their future.
And there you go. Aurora was the narrator all along.
Called it.
Each of us leading together. Soon it will be your turn, princess.
Oh, actually, no, it was the mother. Sorry.
Oh.
The mother.
Now, my dear,
Yeah.
the fire has died. The night is dark.
So yeah, basically we abandoned the dying world and went to the other one, basically.
So
Yeah.
is this historically okay? Obviously,
I
the
actually
magical
tried
stuff.
to do some research, but I haven't found
Wait,
anything particular.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
They
Essentially, all the people in the Duke's town essentially migrated to Lemuria, and now they're gonna live there under Aurora's rule.
So how does this match up with historical stuff?
Essentially, apparently what happened is that during the flood, it had remained only this, and people just speculated that the entire town drowned. So again, it comes of death and rebirth in a sense that to the real world it just seemed like a massacre, but in this case it was like a chance to begin anew somewhere else.
So do we have a post-credit scene?
No, but we are going to read the rest of the confessions that we haven't read yet.
Also,
So might as well
credits
say
pop
final
song.
thoughts.
Sure, Roy, you go
Alright,
first.
Actually, Jova, you go first since I know you
No,
want
no,
to get
no,
a
no,
lot
no.
off your
I'm
chest.
saving
No,
some thoughts.
Jova. Oh.
Go ahead, Shiro then.
If you want me to go first instead, might as well, just to
No,
counterbalance
no,
it.
no. It's well, this. Wait, who recorded this?
Pedro.
Okay, do you want to go first then?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I will save it
Aside
myself.
aside from the music and the visuals being beautiful, this like wonderful first few hours, but the rest of this was
Underwhelming.
that was
It's a game that has astonishing vision and really wants and you can tell the developers pour their heart and soul into it, but the behind the scenes trouble completely screwed their plans
Yeah.
up.
yeah.
Although they handled it
the latter-
incompetently, but I'll get
The
into
latter
that
half
later.
or the latter third of the story was completely flat.
Yeah.
There was no depth in this at all, and what should have been a pretty climactic ending fell completely flat because
They rushed the
wasn't
hell out
earned.
of it.
yeah, which is a real shame because this is one game I'd be looking forward to, and yeah, I know it's just one thing, but yeah, this whole latter third just put a real damper on everything else,
Though I still
which is
thi-
fantastic.
Though I still think for 20 quid, it's pretty damn. It still get a lot of entertainment from it.
Oh
for
yeah,
it.
definitely.
Especially the PC version, because it's on Steam, you can
I
find
have the PC
discounts
version.
discounts every now and then.
Oh, then the PS4 and the PlayStation Store as well. Not on the Xbox One.
Well, the thing is, like, well, Steam has the most
It-
common discounts.
Yeah, more regular in a sense.
And
It was
also the winter
also
sales.
it was
that
also
everyone-
yeah.
because
It was also on the Wii U.
But whatever. Anyway, let's move on.
Anyway,
Go ahead.
you're done, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
As for me, I partially agree with what Shiro said. I also have a bit of a personal issues with this game. I don't want to talk more specifically, especially in record, but I just say that I played this game during a particular period of my life, and similar to, ironically, what Shadow of the Colossus is to that Adam Sandler movie. The impact that I had on the game reflected in some things that were happening in my life, especially
Good or bad?
the first couple of hours. Bittersweet, Jova. Let me just say
Okay.
that. But aside from the personal emotional manipulation that this game inadvertently created in me, on its own, I sadly have to agree with what was said. But I honestly still am a bit on a positive outcome on the game, because of a couple of things. In a period where Ubisoft was having a complete garbage like prod lineup with Tom Clancy pandering, Watch Dogs, bad Assassin's Creed games one after the other.
Unity.
This was literally entitled The Light, that single shining ray that was supposed. This and obviously Violent Hearts as well.
Unlike the other, well, this was before. That was after though. Rayman games aside, this was like the one Ubisoft game back in 2013 where it didn't feel like it was pre-made but in a factory to sell as much units as possible.
About
hold on,
Rayman, Pedro, even that ran into some Ubisoft troubles at the time, I'm sad to say.
The whole thing about Rayman Legends being first a Wii U exclusive and then all...
Well, I'm talking about the games themselves, not
That's the thing,
platform.
they kinda gotta put it that way, but that's better saved for the Rayman Origins and Legends
But
commentaries.
what I'm saying is, this was supposed to was like it came in a time where people needed it badly.
Ubisoft
and,
fans especially.
Yes, and despite this clear screw up at the end and the fact that it cleared development hell and it could have been marginally better, even that if I'm honestly thinking that when the Promised Land Arise the game was like 2/3 done, so developers couldn't rewrite it entirely and had to stick with what they had. Of course, it's not an excuse, but I'm a bit more willing to forgive rather than thinking, no, we should have rewrite from the beginning, because otherwise we probably would have had even a shorter game in that case, that category. But here's the thing. The problems I have for the game are on a different path, in a sense that it's too simplistic to me gameplay-wise. Not in the sense of a battle system. The battle system, it's grandiose stuff. It's fine. But it's stuff like having only 2 playable characters on the field, the fact that you don't have an equip system aside from the Oculi, the fact that you don't have like you don't really have
that
the
concise...
skill tree is fine. The skill tree is fine, and even the stat grow is actually well implemented. It just needed that extra bit.
I think what it needed was more of an extra reward when you committed enough to a certain area.
Yeah. Also, obviously, some of the super balls were just like that. But what I am too pleased to say that some of the side quests are actually really fun. Pedro didn't show all of them, but I can tell you that a couple of them are also really fun to pull through.
I can agree.
Like the trading one that you can do to the most popular that I mentioned.
And I actually did like the story arc with Rubella and her brother.
But aside from that, on presentation-wise, I cannot for the life of me try to criticize this game. This composer is probably the first time, if I recall correctly, the first time video game ever, and
what a debut!
Wow. She nails it. I want to see this girl try again sometimes in other products.
Oh,
and
I hope
even
Ubisoft gives her more work.
These showcase the UbiArt engine at its full potential, because otherwise, so far it has been used for Rayman, so it was the first chance to actually use it on a quote-unquote more serious product. And it shows, just look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Every single frame of this game looks like it could be put in a museum.
The project just needed more faith overall from everyone.
The only downside was really the story, honestly. Everything else is wonderful.
Yeah, the battle system is great. Yeah. The battle system is great.
It's the same problem of PlayStation Stars Battle Royale with Sony. The company did not have enough straight with the project, and this damaged it into towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
About making hold on, I'm almost there's also the fact that Golem was relegated as DLC, but honestly, for the fact that you don't need to spend a lot of it, I think it's still an evil, but a thing you can overlook pretty, especially because nowadays the game gets thrown to you in bundles. Anyway, I think we're about to. But
I forgot there is actually an after credit scene. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'll go after Tio.
But it's not now. But my point being. This game has a lot of problems, like even more so that, for example, Nier may had when it came to production and everything. But I still have a positive outlook. I mean, the only reason I'm not gonna replace those for those personal issues, but other than that, I will probably something that I honestly would recommend people to play from time to time, especially because it's a short experience anyway. So. The only thing that made this particular round long was because Pedro was in New Game Plus and some battles took a bit of time. But other than that, the game has the short edge enough for you to complete it in relatively small time. It's not 4 hours, but it should be a bit under, like 6. Anyway, I think I'm done, but we're about to get that scene.
Alright, I'll go next then. Oh boy, okay, how do I sum up this game? Well, for me, it's like Assassin's Creed 1 in a lot of areas. Like, this game has a lot of potential, and the story at some points is actually enjoyable and intriguing. But the problem is that
Special
overall...
thanks to my friends and
Friends and
families for
family.
the incredible food and support.
And on, we're about
Anyway,
to...
we're gonna get the after credits scene, Joe.
It's
Yeah.
coming in just under a minute.
Alright.
Special
Let's see if
thanks-
Michelle Ansel is mentioned. No.
He was
I don't
probably
think
he was probably still
No.
being kept in the basement at this time.
Yes.
Despite how negative I came across as, it's a real shame that this ended up as it did.
Trust
And
me,
if
Shuri, I'm exactly there
okay,
with
I'll
you.
mention after the...
Digital.
I
It's
have
a
no doubt in my
genuine,
mind-
it's a
Shuri,
genuine
Shuri.
shame.
Sure, I have no doubt in my mind that if the Ubisoft have given these guys a proper development time where they had plenty of time to iron their problems out and think things over, and more money, I'm confident that this team would have delivered a masterpiece.
I agree.
I agree.
Alright, here we go. In memory of Roland Rollos, he was one of the developers, in case you didn't know. Hey, Nicholas.
I think my heart might make do. Oh, so there is a post-credit scene.
Aw.
Pedro, you lied to me.
I forgot.
No,
Sorry.
she is a queen, through and through.
This means that Aurora's mother can pass away, essentially.
But she forgot to talk to you.
It's a matter of responsibility, Joe, essentially.
She has more important things
Well,
to do.
retirement doesn't mean you just gotta go die right there and then.
I know, right? I mean, there is abdication. Watch over Lemuria. Goodbye, my queen, Aurora.
Or
She's
does it just
happy
happen?
now.
Okay.
They have no control over it.
I hate to be negative, but that's another thing the game did not earn. Like, there's no reason for it up and we can play now.
Yeah.
Essentially, you're back to this after the final battle.
Yeah, and you can do any side quests that you missed.
So do the
Yeah.
NPCs, remember the fact that she saved the world, or is it one of those post games
I
where they
haven't
treat it
bothered
like
to
it's up
check.
to it? Major?
I haven't checked. Sorry.
Oh.
One last small addendum to what I said. I also, though, have faith in the franchise and I want it to grow, to continue to grow. Not
Yeah.
necessarily with a sequel, obviously, because for this case the story is wrapped up and everything. Maybe a prequel telling the origin story of the explorers and everything, or maybe another title set in Lemuria but on a different point of view because it's a fantasy world. You can make this world bigger, like having another continent and everything. Just it's essentially expanding what in the gameplay department and actually having a story that was that it's clear and contained from point A to point B.
Or at the
Yeah,
very
yeah.
least, making more games that make use of this wonderful engine.
At the time of this recording, Ubisoft has been stepped out a bit of their negative zone, but they still need to convince me through and through.
I mean,
Not just
Assassin's
that,
Creed
where's my
Origins
Ubi art
is...
game?
Yeah, that's
see-
what I mean. Also, for example, the lack of Prince of Persia, the lack of Rayman, and the fact that Ansels, yes, he is working again on Beyond Good and Evil 2, but we know for a fact that Ubisoft is passing a troubled period anyway.
And we're still waiting for
confession.
Skull and Crossbones to come, which may or may
Remember
not be
when
some
it-
development
Yeah.
hell.
Yeah. Speaking of that, remember when Michel Ancel revealed he was also working on a game called Wild?
Oh yeah,
For Sony, I think.
what happened to
We
that?
never. I don't know. They never mentioned it again.
Actually, there was a trailer like March of 2017, but still a long time ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I
I'm
haven't
gonna
watched that.
check. I'm gonna check. in the
Anyway, so
meantime.
what is this letter about?
Basically, from Mr. Allen's eyes only. Basically, it's once again Sophie Anton Ellis telling the story of Lemuria. But
Essentially, this person that was lost in Lemuria.
You
I
know,
love what he says there. Fairy tales aren't so tale-ish. Tale-ish.
Taylor's get it.
Even saw a griffin, yes. Mysterious explorers built cities here a long time ago. Some are still populated, so there you go.
I
The
mean, these
explorers-
letters. Oh, sorry, these confessions. They're fine, but I don't know. Something about them
I
seems a
disagree.
bit. Wow. Okay, I guess I don't have to be soft on this then. I mean, okay. Look,
I
mean,
actually disagree. I don't like these confessions at all. But go ahead.
yeah, I'll admit I don't like them either, Miracle. I was gonna say, I mean, okay. I honestly think that at best they're fine. At worst, they're just boring and not really that
Who
endearing
cares?
to read. And even still, it's not like they're telling us lore every time. Some of these just seem to be riddles spoken in Kingdom Hearts-esque dialect. The difference
yeah,
being
the
that
big-
at
the
least
big
with Kingdom
problem-
Hearts, that at least goes somewhere. It takes forever,
It's
but
as
it goes
whimsical
somewhere.
anyway.
The problem is that with these confessions is that a lot of times it's really hard to make any connections between what they're talking about and what's actually going on in the game, because the game either makes it way too vague or doesn't flat out make a clear connection at all,
Or just
and
ignores it
would be so much.
altogether.
It would have been so much better if they just been flat out obvious with the lore stuff, because vagueness is not I get what they're going for, but
Vagueness is not a
here wasn't
virtue. It's a tool, but it's not a virtue. Just being vague alone does not mean your story's going to be good. In fact, if
There's a
anything,
right and a wrong way to be vague.
yeah. Like, for as much flack as I give the Kingdom Hearts overall narrative, when they're vague, they go somewhere with it overall, so that you at least get what was the point of it. Here, yeah, again, like I said, I was expecting that eventually we were going to get some story bits that would make sense of these confessions. Maybe we'd reference the people in them, but from what I've seen, no.
It's like this might be for lack of better wording, it's basically a dumbed down version of the Wizard's Companion.
Yeah. Hey, that's actually a good point. Remember how in the Wizard's Companion, we actually got all these journals and stuff, but it turned out to be, the writings of that green-haired kid, and eventually we actually got a nice big side quest tying that all together.
Anyway,
I was also
Job,
talking to the fact that a lot of them refer to characters and events that we're familiar with.
Anyway, Job, let's close us off with your my final thoughts are basically exactly what Theo said. So, Job, if you don't mind, we'll try to keep it brief.
Thanks. Anyway, as I was saying, the best way to sum this game up, it's an incredibly flawed game. It's not completely bad, but it's nowhere completely good. I mean, the battle system is fine and fun, but like Tio said, it has a lot of stuff limiting it down. Honestly, and the team dynamic does not feel like they're always that well for me. Sometimes some characters will speak, but very rarely do you have them really all there together like they're a team. And that feels a bit too small and concise. And then the story itself, okay, it starts off promising, then it just becomes downright confusing. And again, okay, you couldn't even give Umbra a proper death scene, despite the death scenes you gave her daughters. And she's a lame final boss. Doesn't even get a proper dialect to die. Also, I kind of find it a bit cold that Aurora just, I guess, watches her suffer and die. Again, they're not clear with what happens. The pacing is out of whack here. Rush problems or not, I blame both Ubisoft, but also the dev team for not handling it that well. Again, until we get a clear interview of what happened, I can only judge it based off of it, and I can't blame just one party. I will say this, though. This game has enough good that I don't want to see this be the end of games like this. It's like I said, I compare this to Assassin's Creed 1 in the case where, Assassin's Creed 1 is the start of the series, and we have that to thank for the existence of the series, but let's be quite honest, it didn't become the series we know and love until Assassin's Creed 2 came to play. And this is what I honestly think. Like with Mega Man 1 and Mega Man 2, I think Child of Light could use not even a downright sequel, but, a new installment. One that's not rushed. One that Ubisoft had more faith in to make something good of it. Because there's a lot of brilliant stuff. The art direction, the way the motion goes, the characters themselves are actually written rather endearly. There were, only a few I didn't find that memorable. And even then,
music?
I was talking about the characters. I already said the music was great. Anyway, again, though, the story... I was enjoying it up until the final points, and yes, I'll admit, to me, the Blaster does kind of screw with things because, well, look, I don't feel right telling someone to buy this game but only play up until the first two thirds. So, again, look, if you can handle the story, by all means, get this game. It looks fun enough. But considering how story-driven this game tries to be, well, you know my stance, basically. If you can stand it, get it. If not, wait, hope, and pray for an eventual new installment with the UbiSoft engine, because from what I've heard, this game sold well enough that Ubisoft shouldn't be ignoring it. But for some reason, they are.
Platform. It came out in basically every platform except for the 3DS at the time.
Yeah. So, extremely flawed game, but it's not all bad to me. And you know what? I enjoyed more of it than I didn't.
Mm-hmm. All right, everybody. So that was Child of Light. Tune in next time where I guess Valiant
Well,
Hearts. I don't know
yeah,
who's recording
but
that.
yeah, well, probably me. But before that, that means we have to deal with an old friend.
Who?
Yeah, the missing link.
Yeah, we'll see.
Missing link.
Well, Jova, we did the first two. Got to finish off the trilogy.
Oh no.
Yes, we've been putting off for quite a while at this point.
Get the booze ready.
David
That's-
Cage.
No, not David. The non-Dwebs missing link. You know.
Oh, Matoma Toriyama.
That wonderful protagonist that you love so much, Jova.
I'm
Anyway.
sorry, the moment you started talking
The
about
one
that, I
that she
cut
must
my
not be
brain out.
forgotten. Anyway,
Yeah,
we're long this enough. See ya.
Yeah, see you, everybody.